Why not?
Hello and welcome. I'm getting to speak with my friend Kirt Davis again with the Betterment Experience, and I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me again today. How's your life been since the last time we talked?
Well, pretty much probably like everybody else, just trying our best to avoid COVID and survive as much as possible. Although COVID still found me, and you just gotta take it one day at a time. It's a crazy world these days. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It is
Hopefully,
crazy.
you're feeling better.
I am. I can breathe. I had Omicron this last time, and you know, I had the first COVID, and then I got Omicron, and then Omicron felt like death, absolute death. And I would rather have the first COVID. So, I just feel like I'm kind of extremely resilient because I got through COVID 50,000 times. So nothing can really take me out right about now. I'm good. I'm good.
Great positive energy. I love it. So I don't really have a plan for like what we're going to discuss today. I know we kind of talking about emotions, vulnerability, your scream experience. So we can just kind of free form, I guess.
One thing I would like to put out to everybody first, and to you as well, we can speak about this for a second. I just want to talk about the emotional, physical effect that COVID has had on everybody, whether you've had COVID or not. This has really changed the landscape of the world. And I know a couple of people that I work with who are actual introverts. And even though they've had to isolate themselves and do whatever, it's been too much for them. They still had to have some type of interaction when it comes to people. COVID has really changed a lot of things. And a lot of people are struggling with just how life is changing. You can't go here. You got to wear masks there. You have to look out for your family members. If you have elderly people in your family, you have to make sure that you wear your mask around them. It's changed the whole landscape, and that's a lot for a lot of people. So I can understand, even with myself, how it's been very stressful on top of the stresses that you already have. On top of the things you're dealing with, relationship issues, financial issues, all this other stuff. If you are going through all the stuff that COVID has pretty much put out there, it's hard. So please, please, please be gentle with yourself these days. Be understanding with yourself that you're not going to have all the answers. You're not going to have everything figured out. Take it day by day. Don't try to sit there and overwhelm yourself because we're all struggling. Everybody is struggling. Everybody's going through something. So for those who are listening, just take it easy. This is a different day and age, man. We've never been through this before. So we're all learning. So take it easy. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's very important. Tell yourself that you got this. Affirm yourself as much as possible and keep it moving. That's pretty much what you have to do.
Absolutely, because this is absolutely exhausting and isolating, and it helps me to validate myself that of
Right.
course I'm feeling what I'm feeling because this is exhausting, and it's tough for people, even introverts or people that can usually be self-sufficient or
Right.
handle their own. Like, we're finding that it's difficult because especially with kids and the elderly, like like you said, we're worried about them. We're trying to take these precautions to keep them safe, and it can be a lot. And
I can't even understand how. I'm not a parent, so I don't understand how. And I have so much respect for most parents who have to explain a pandemic to a child. And this child who has never had to wear a mask, who will go around touching everything, coughing on everything, hugging everything. Now you're like, nope, you can't do that. And that has got to be kind of crazy for a lot of parents to not only worry about your child, but come up with a way to explain something that we're having a hard time understanding to a child, to say, hey, things have changed. So again, even that aspect, that's got to be exhausting. That's got to be hard. Take it easy on yourself. take it easy on your kids, because I can understand kids being at home all the time and probably driving a lot of people crazy. So take it easy on your kids and just take it one day at a time and find ways to decompress. Either go for a walk, meditate, scream. It doesn't matter. Find a way to decompress and to just enjoy yourself, because I swear fun is one of the best forms of prevention on earth. Just to get out there and have a good time doing something. I don't care if you go streaking butt naked through the street. I don't care. Do what you got to do in order to make sure that you are having a good time and doing something that brings you joy. I don't care what it is. Pinpoint that. Make sure you do it as much as possible, as often as possible, and that way will help with your resilience. So just keep it moving, because it's hard for everybody. It really is. It's a tough day and age, man. I can do it. I don't know how I'm doing this shit. So I don't know how you're doing it, Liberty. How are you doing?
We're all trying to figure it out. Like, honestly, I'm glad you mentioned healthy coping skills, because that's been one of the things that's been saving my sanity, is having those outlets. Like last night, I have my parenting group, and then afterward I was like, I just need to let loose. And so I grabbed my iPhone and I plugged in my headphones and I just sang. And I sang my heart out for probably at least an hour and a half. And like, even with COVID and strep throat, like I'm still like, I'm going to push through. I'm going to find something that brings me joy. And I'm not going to let, this virus steal the joy, the little joy that I can find in my day to day.
Absolutely. And, finding coping skills is actually kind of hard. And I was thinking back to when I was, back in my suicidal days, and when I was severely depressed, and when I couldn't find joy in anything. I felt that, I myself was worthless. I felt that my purpose was worthless. I felt these things. So in those areas, when you're in that area, it is really helpful to just take a step back for a quick second. It doesn't have to be long. And you have to find something that makes you smile in that moment. I don't care if it's thought of a loved one. I don't care if it's you going to the club and just twerking your life away. Whatever it is, you have got to find something that brings you the slightest bit of joy. It is nobody else's responsibility to make you happy or to bring you joy. It is nobody else's responsibility, just like it's not your responsibility to make anybody else happy or to bring them joy. So a lot of us, when things like this happen, we become codependent on somebody else encouraging joy in our life. And when that person doesn't show up, now we feel even less of a person. You have got to advocate for yourself in your own mental health. And you've got to reach out to yourself and say, you know what? I used to love to paint. I'm going to go get a canvas and I'm going to paint. I don't care what it looks like. I'm just going to go paint. Or, I used to love to run, or I used to love to do something. Just go and try it. Build a model airplane. I don't care. Do something that just gives you that time to just be you, and do something which works for me is to have complete control over it. Because one thing we do not have right now is control over the pandemic, what we're doing. Have something where you can just have complete control. If you're going to paint something, it is whatever you want to paint. Control every aspect of it. It can be butt freaking ugly, but it's yours and it's your control. So find something that you can control and just do that. It helps you, in my opinion, regain your strength, and which these days is kind of hard. So yeah, it's just a tough day and age, man. It really is. It really is. I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know. Liberty, I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know how you're doing it, Liberty.
I don't know how you're doing it either. But honestly, the rewards, like I was honestly talking to one of my friends just this past week about finding ways to reward ourselves for pushing through the hard things. Just the day in and day out of life can get so overwhelming. And so we have to have things to look forward to, like, especially for us parents that are in, day out, like to be able to have something to look forward to. Like after this week, I'm going to have this 2 hours to go, walk through the woods, or I'm going to, take this hour and go sit in the yard, or like you said, like grab a canvas of paint, or whatever it is, having that reward to look forward to is kind of what is like dragging me along. I'm finding, okay, like I'm gonna reward myself with, you know, this experience for pushing through for these 2 weeks, or, you know, whatever. I'm still searching for like exactly the right reward, but it's always personal. And like, that's the beauty of coping skills, is they're personal. Like, we get to set up what makes us happy, what feels good for us. And we get to live that.
And I'm happy you said that, because let's take that a step back. First, you have to believe that you deserve a reward. A lot of people think that going through life, these are the cards I've been dealt. I have to deal with this. I have to go through this. It's hard. I'm a parent. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm a wife. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm a husband. It's what I'm supposed to do. And they don't believe that because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, or my job, that I deserve a reward. And first, realize you do. You deserve happiness, joy, a reward. You deserve to feel like the best person on earth, period. You deserve that. And it doesn't mean that you got to go out here and buy yourself an actual trophy. You reward yourself by putting time into yourself. You,
absolutely,
as a parent, you give so much to your children. You give so much to your profession. You give so much to these things that taking 2 hours to go get your nails done, or go get a pedicure, or to just go shopping, or to do something that you know brings you joy. Those are the things that you have to do. You have to make time for that. You have to put that into your schedule. To take that a step further, and this is how you and I will jump into 10,000 different conversations.
I love it.
When it comes into relationships, Jesus Christ, here we go. If you don't, this is one thing I'm noticing so much, even being a relationship and marriage counselor, and just in my own personal life. If you are wanting a relationship, if you are in a place where you're saying that you want a relationship and you're ready for that, if you don't have time for yourself, you have no time for a relationship.
Right.
You have absolutely no time for a relationship. One statement I hate to hear so much is, I'll make time for those people who are important to me. That's bullshit. Because if you did that, you would have made time for yourself. So you're saying that you're not important to you because you didn't make time for me. So how the hell are you going to make time for me? What I try to do every week, regardless of what's going on, is set aside 2 hours every week for yourself, whether it's just laying on the couch, watching TV, or whatever. If you're going to date, now you have 2 hours each week that you have for yourself, and that's dating. Now you have 2 hours set to the side to go out and have a drink, or, you know, do whatever else people do when they're dating these days. I despise dating, but it is what it is. So
Amen.
you got to put time into yourself prior to, I don't want you to make time. I don't want to be an afterthought. Think about me prior, but stop making yourself an afterthought. Because when you get into a relationship and then they make you an afterthought, this is kind of sort of what you manifested.
Right.
Make yourself a priority now, not later. It matters. That goes for men and women. You all deserve it. Make yourself a priority. Put time together for yourself prior. And later on, you'll find how so many things are so much easier. But yeah, don't get me started on dating. I despise dating.
Yeah, because how we love ourselves is how we love other people. So if we're not actively loving ourselves, we actually cannot actively love someone else.
Absolutely right. You are.
And even with our kids, if we're not taking care of ourselves, it is so much harder to take care of our kids, because we get exhausted, we get resentful, we get to the point where we just want to give up. We don't want to give anymore. And so if we're not filling back up, we have nothing to give.
Absolutely right. And one thing that I've said is that, you know, if you don't know how to love yourself, they can't either. Right. Whoever the hell they is. If you don't know how to love and take care of yourself, how the hell can you tell me how to do it? And if you don't know how to love and take care of yourself, then you're going to settle for whatever this person is doing. And that's probably worse than what you're doing to yourself. So That's how you jump into a codependent relationship. That's how you jump into an abusive relationship. That's how you jump into a relationship that is extremely toxic, because you're just happy that the person is there, but you don't know what it's like to really love yourself because you never did. You never did. So when you're looking at this person and saying, hey, I want you to love me like this, or you really can't say that because you can't say it to yourself. I advise everybody to sit down and to actually write out what the hell it is that you want in life, in general, for your kids, everything, because stop trying to figure it out on the fly. Take that time to actually sit down and say, this is what I want. Now, once you write that down, look at the shit that you're getting. If it doesn't match your list, something needs to change.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
I have my clients work through the same things because a lot of my clients end up in abusive relationships. And so we have to unpack, like, how did this happen?
Right.
How did we allow someone to treat us like this? And so unpacking, like, the deal breakers that we don't stand up for, like, you know, this person is doing something that is extremely against my values, and yet I'm afraid to be alone, so I'm going to put up with it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, you just hit so many nails on the freaking head. Liberty. Oh my God. Like, how often have we all, I've been guilty of it, I know in my past, you stay in a situation, not because of loyalty, not because of love, you stay in a situation because of loneliness and the fear of. And so you're there because I just don't want to be alone. Oh, I don't want to start over. Oh, it's so hard to date. It's so hard to do this. Yet the situation that you're in is doing more damage than if you were to actually go out and jump into another situation, but you're staying in it because you feel comfortable knowing that, you know what, at least I know this person is shit. He's going to beat me. She's going to cheat on me. At least I know what you're doing. So that's a comfort zone. And unfortunately, you settle for that. But it really comes back to, in all sincerity, it all comes back to how you feel about yourself and what you allow with yourself. When you see yourself as this priceless, wonderful person, you will stop giving people coupons to your heart and your time.
Oh, I love that.
And that's what people do. Settling is giving somebody a coupon, a discount. You do not have to pay full price. You do not have to give me all the love I deserve. You do not have to give me everything that I know I need. I'm going to give you a discount because I see myself as a discounted thing. I see myself as broken. I see myself as worthless. I see myself as not being lovable. So here's your coupon. So just half-ass me and I'll be good with that. And that's not it. You are worth so much. I don't give a shit what you've been through. I don't care what your history is, what your past is. That doesn't matter. That is not your today. You are still a person who deserves love, respect, admiration, and honor. And if you're not getting that, then you are giving out coupons. A lot of women give out coochie coupons, and they just give those out to everybody who they want. Here's a coochie coupon. There you go. And dudes will sit there for the majority, or a lot of us, we do everything with our pockets. So we feel that we have to pay for a lot of things, or that's how we feel important, is because we can pay for this and put ourselves in a whole bunch of financial jeopardy because we're trying to impress a girl. No, don't do that anymore. And if you find yourself doing that, step back and say, why? It's because I feel like shit about myself. It's because I feel like I don't deserve to be treated like this because of what that last person did to me. And it's because I feel like I just want somebody to love me. I don't care how they do it. Just give me a little bit of love. Just a little bit.
Just give me the scraps. I'll eat the half-eaten sandwich.
I don't want the steak. I want the scraps. You deserve a freaking porterhouse.
Yes.
And you wonder why you're starving.
And COVID makes it so much worse because, you know, we're isolated as it is. And so we're willing to accept, like, anyone that's willing to text us, like, or, you know, jump on a Zoom call, or
Exactly.
I honestly feel like this COVID is feeding a lot of relationship dysfunction because we are accepting a lot less. because of this, it's just epidemic loneliness now.
It's funny because on the military side, at my job, a lot of times when we look at data, we'll say, well, prior to COVID, there were these relationship issues, because right now, military-wise, the leading cause of suicides is relationship issues, with financial issues being right behind it. So we look at this data and say, prior to COVID, these were the issues. And then during COVID, there was a spike. And I had to sit there and tell them, I was like, you know what? COVID didn't create a lot of issues. It uncovered issues that were already there. So if you sucked at communicating, it was easy because both of you were at work all day. Now you're stuck at home all day in each other's faces and you can't freaking communicate, which leads to domestic violence, which leads to all these other issues. And COVID forced you to face a lot of the stuff that you hadn't fucking fixed.
Right? It's inescapable. We're trapped.
Exactly. You are trapped. So take that time to say, you know what? And for some people, it might be, I don't need to be in this situation anymore. You know what? I'm around you 24 freaking 7. I'm looking at you and I just can't wait for you to stop breathing. I don't want to be in this situation anymore. And that is an option. You have the right to say, no, I want to change. But a lot of people are like, no, I'm loyal. I have to stay here. I got to love you. I got to be through. No, you don't. You don't. Nope. Love is an option. And
you shouldn't stay somewhere where you're not appreciated and not treated well.
But you have to know what appreciation is. And so a lot of people don't. And in the world of, suicides and all this other stuff going on, a lot of us, and myself included, because I still struggle, it's hard when certain things come up that it's so easy we are wired to see the negative. We are internally wired to see the negative. It's going to be the first thing that comes up in our mind. It's really hard for things to happen for us to see the silver lining or to see the positive. It's very hard because it's not what we're taught. There's negative on TV. If you look at it, even the positive stuff you see on TV will tell you that your body is not good enough or how much money you make is not good enough. And I was looking at an insurance commercial the other day, and I was like, now it's telling me I'm not saving enough. Everything I'm doing is not enough. Everything.
And there's toxic positivity too. That's like, oh, everything is fine. Just tell yourself everything is grand and it's going to be okay. Like we have to learn how to speak to ourselves. And that is one thing that I have been learning over the last year with because my word of the year last year was relating. And so I was learning how to relate to myself and others. And one of the biggest takeaways I had was how I communicate with myself. And one of the biggest things that I found was I'm able to journal now, and I'm able to speak from my parts, like the part that's really scared or the part that's really angry or the part that's really ashamed. And I'll speak from that part in my journal. And then I go back as my adult self and I will validate those emotions and I will, build myself up. And I'll use CBT and I'll counteract some of the cognitive distortions. And I'll be like, is this really true? Like, how do you know that's true? Or I'll label like, oh, that's some circular thinking right there. Like, and really I'll get into the weeds with, how I'm talking to myself now. And that was something that I never really did before. I've always journaled, but to really get in touch with that adult self and validate my own self and how I'm talking to myself, because how I talk to myself sets the standard for how I allow other people to talk to me. And if I notice,
hold on, say that again, Liberty. Say that one more time.
How I talk to myself sets the precedent for what I allow other people to talk to me. Like, it's plain and simple. Like if I feel pain when I'm saying mean things to myself, that lets me know, oh, that hurts. And so I know that if somebody else is saying something and it brings up that same feeling, I'm not going to allow that now. And a lot of people I feel don't have access to that. They don't have access to that internal validating sense, that adult self to really hold that, because we all have child parts. We all have these emotions that run wild. And to have that you know, adult self that can hold those emotions and really allow them and feel them. I honestly feel a lot of people are missing that. And it's not something that's taught. We're not taught, you know, oh, this, you know, be your own parent, validate yourself, talk to yourself the way you would a child. And it's very important. That's what I've been learning.
It is. I have one of my workshops is called the inner child experience, and it kind of sort of touches on that. And the way I see it is, you know, we all hear about our inner child. And a lot of people take that and just, oh, it's nonsense. You know, there's no freaking little child inside me. You know, there is. So the way that I look at it is when you're born, it's not just you that's born. This is a child that's born with you that is supposed to grow with you. However, like the majority of us, like damn near all of us, every time something happens, something that where somebody, you know, misplaced your trust or some family member did something to you or something, what that does is it harms your inner child. Your outer child, you mask the pain and continues to go, but your inner child cannot do that. Your inner child is suffering under this pain. So as you continue to grow, your inner child stays the same age because it's stuck under all of this pain that you have not gone back and done this. And I ask parents, if your child was outside and was riding a bike and then the child fell and got a little boo-boo, you know, do you just look at him and say, well, fuck you, and you go on and do what you do? No, you'll kiss that boo-boo, tell him everything's going to be okay, and then put him right back on that bike and, you know, take care of him that way. How often have you done that with yourself? How often have you looked at your own boo-boos and said, you know what, it's okay? Every time you speak negatively about yourself, neglect yourself, talk to yourself wrong, you are essentially committing child abuse to your inner child.
Oh, damn, I just got chills on that one.
You are beating your inner child when it's down. Yep. And then you wonder why things don't look to you or something's not as happy as it was. Why? Because your joy, your sense of wonder, your sense of play, everything your inner child holds is buried under pain that you have not gone back and dealt with. All you've dealt with is putting this mask on and continue going on because that's what we're taught, to be strong.
And then we keep adding on. Every time we beat ourselves up, we're adding layers to that.
And your inner child is sitting there like, yo, when is somebody going to actually come back and say, hey, my bad? And I tell people to go back. During the workshop, I tell them, you know, I need you to look in this mirror and forgive yourself for forgetting yourself. You need to go back and say, my bad. And you need to start a relationship with yourself. Now, think about this. You have neglected your inner child for your job, for every relationship you've been in. Now, think if this was your actual child. You put your child to the side. You left your child in the hot-ass car while you went inside and had a date because you're trying to fill this void that only your inner child can fill with this man or this woman. And meanwhile, your inner child is suffering like, what about me? But you're pushing them to the side to focus on your career and all this other stuff. And 20, 30 years down the road, when you realize, oh, shit, I'm not happy. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, because your inner child has been suffering back at the age of 2. Now you're 30. So stop committing child abuse. Love your inner child. Go back and say, I'm sorry. I should have never neglected you. Please forgive me. Your inner child just wants to be hugged and loved and know that you're there. That's all they want. That's all you want. Is to just say, I'm sorry. I love you. I will never do that again. I'm going to focus on you from now on. I'm going to make you a priority. I will never leave you behind. And this is what you're saying to yourself. Because that's what you continue to do to yourself. There is no man, no woman, no money, no job that will take the place of you.
Right.
And
we got to take that kid out of that hot car.
You have to. That child is in there suffocating and crying, and there's nobody breaking the window. There's no cops that come by and look inside the car. This ain't at Walmart. You know, you have to go in there and open the door, air that thing out, feed that child. That child's not eating. And what a lot of people do is go in that car while it's hot and say, you're worthless. You're a piece of shit. You don't deserve this. And that child's
Why are
already
you crying?
Why are you crying? You're so weak. And that child is like, what the hell? Like, you're beating me when I'm down. And then you close the door and make them suffocate again. This child is suffering. You are suffering. But you won't even pay attention to yourself. Meanwhile, you're kissing everybody else's ass trying to make them happy. While you suffer. That makes absolutely no sense, but that's what we're taught.
Yeah.
It's what we're taught.
Culture of push ourselves down, make other people happy. Other people will fill us up.
And it can't happen. And I've lived that life where I felt like I didn't matter. And so I was like, you know what? And I tried to justify it, because we'll do this. We'll gaslight ourselves. We'll justify it and say, you know what? Well, as long as I'm making her happy, then I'm going to find pleasure out of that. Keep fooling yourself. It's bull. Because what you're going to do is let this person run over you. And at the end, you're going to be empty even more. And you'll just jump from that situation to another until you fill your own tank. You deserve premium gasoline, but you keep taking diesel from everybody else and wonder why you're not running correctly. You're breaking down. You're running off natural gas. You just run around farting everywhere, and you can't get everything that you need. So you have to put into yourself. And for men, this is totally against your nature. It is totally against your nature. It's totally against what you're taught. It's totally against what you see. It's totally against that. And of course, I will always advocate for men, because 82% of all suicides are men. Men, you deserve everything she does. Yep. You deserve that. And if you're in a situation where you are not getting that, it's okay to say, this is not working for me. But the majority of the time, and this is for everybody, you have to break up with your toxic self before you break up with a toxic person. You have to look in the mirror and say, this ain't working for me.
That's what I've been learning too, is that, we like, even after all the work that I've done, like, I still have those moments that I'm feeling worthless, or I'm thinking, no one's going to love me. I'm too broken. And like, it's very important to take that time to love that part. And because I honestly know that I will not find a healthy partner until I fully heal those wounds. And there's not that part coming up saying, I'm too broken to love. I'm too fucked up. I'm too this. I'm too that. I'm not enough this.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. You cannot give 100% until you are 100%. So you cannot put out more than what you have. And while you know what, you just actually said something that's very important, that there's not a cure-all for this.
No.
Mental health and self-betterment is an ongoing thing. This is not going to be, oh my God, I solved everything. No, that's not it. You're going to have great days. You're going to have bad days. But if you don't start working on yourself, your bad days are going to outnumber your great days. And you want to be able to appreciate your great days. And you won't be able to learn from your bad days. This is life. It's just a different approach to how you perceive life. None of us are perfect. All of us are flawed. We're all going to make mistakes. And if you don't continuously look at yourself, if you're not, it's like maintenance on your car. If you're not constantly changing the oil or looking at, we don't have the little oil sign on our heart that says you're running low on gas and oil like this. You have to actually check in and say, okay, how am I doing? Just how am I feeling? Am I feeling okay? And then once you start to pay attention to those feelings, as soon as they happen later on, you'll be like, hey, I know this feeling. It's not good. No, I need to get out of the situation. This person's crazy as hell. I got to go. But a lot of us just keep going because it's just easier. We don't want to, the work is hard in the beginning. We haven't done the work. Now you got to do 20 years of work, and it's hard. This is not easy, but life isn't easy. And working on yourself is a lot easier than the shit that you're going through right now.
Facing it is easier.
Facing you.
It's hard, but it's easier.
Is easier than that abusive husband or wife, that toxic person that continuously cheats on you and belittles you. that person that just doesn't appreciate you at all, your family that doesn't appreciate you, that job that treats you like shit and makes you work 10,000 hours, facing you is so much easier than going through that shit on a daily basis. And I want you to look at your strength through this. You have been able to survive being abused, being like physically, mentally abused by family members, by friends, by all this stuff, and you're still here. So working on yourself, you're strong enough. You are more than strong enough. Why? Because you already been through hell. You've already
And
been through hell
survived.
and survived. So pat yourself on the damn back. Some people can go through half the shit you've been through. Pat yourself on the back. I've been through it. I survived this. I got over it. And now I need to focus on myself so I don't go back through that again. However, let's say you did happen to go back through it again, because some of us do. You survived it before. Damn it. You should look at it quicker and you can survive it again. You are a survivor. You're strong as hell. Resiliency lies within you. You don't have to ask for strength. It's already there. Every day that you say, I'm not going to end it today, you are strong as fuck.
Yes.
You just made a decision that so many other people could not make. When that thought crosses your mind and you say, I want to end it, but you don't. Oh my God, pat on the back for you.
And we need to remember those days, like how hard they were and what it took to pull us out of that.
Exactly.
It's important.
You're absolutely right. I try to have something that I think about often because, again, I've attempted suicide 3 times. So statistically, I'm at a higher risk of, attempting suicide again. But knowing that I attempted it before, that I've had that low place, what I do is try to have I call it like a mental Gucci bag. So when I feel low, I try to dig into that bag of things that I know make me happy. So if I'm feeling at that place and I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of this pain. I just want to let it go. I'll dig into that bag and I think about my niece. And I'm like, oh, I can see her crying and no, I can't do that. Or I think about the people that I help with suicide. I'm like, I'm not here. Who's going to help them? I hold on to these things because I know that they're true and I know that I can depend on them. And they keep me going. I don't give a crap what keeps you going. Just keep going. I don't care what you hold on to. You can be like, oh my God, I like shaving a cat's butt. If it keeps you going, shave the masses. Go ahead and keep them going. I don't care, but the fact is, find something that keeps you going. It's hard. Don't hold on to the thoughts of people. Don't depend on that person.
Ooh.
Because you can't always depend on people.
Right. Because there will be times when you've got the gun in your mouth on the bathroom floor and they're not there for you.
They are not there. Hold on to the thought, not the actual person, because everybody's going through something. And just because you're onto that thought, you can expect them to not go through something to help you with yours. And so hold on to the thought, not the person, because like you said, they're not always going to be there. And it's unfortunate, but that's life. Suicides are real. And I really, all these things that we talk about, everything plays into how much mental health matters more these days than it ever did. And I wish more people would actually look at the different facets of mental health and really take the time it doesn't take a lot. Honestly, just an hour a day, 5 minutes a day, just to focus on yourself. That's just
right.
Focus on you. Because when you give it to everybody else, man, you can only do so much.
We're only human.
We're only human. I consider myself to be a bad motherfucker, but I'm only a bad motherfucker to a certain extent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's sometimes I come home and I break down crying because sometimes you just get so sick and tired of, I'm a counselor. So I have to hear everybody's problems all day long. And at the end of the day, nobody asked me how I was doing.
Right.
And I come home and I'm like, I'm so sick and tired of helping people. And nobody's there for me. But that's my low point. I reach into my little Gucci bag, pull out something, and I'm like, you know what? This is my purpose. If somebody's life is saved based off of this, cool. Let's keep it moving. And that's why I love the screen experience. That's why I love what I'm doing. as far as that, because Liberty, have you ever heard a motivational speaker talk before in your life?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I come from the military sect, so all the motivational speakers were like former Navy SEALs or some millionaire, some shit that I cannot relate to. That's why I started this, because I'm not a Navy SEAL, never was, not a millionaire. I'm a regular dude who has had regular problems that I can relate to you with. And that's why the Scream experience is actually so freaking unique, because I'm not coming in here to talk at you. I'm talking with you. Like, look, dude, we've all been there. I will cry with you. I will scream with you. And that's what people need these days, is to feel validated, to feel understood, somebody that they can relate to. And why sit there and pay all this freaking money to bring in some big name who he's going to leave there, or she's going to leave there and make millions of dollars, and you're still suffering with $10 in your bank account. I currently have $15 in my bank. I got more than that, but I'm saying it's just, it's the same thing. I struggle just like you. And that's why the Scream experience is so, in my opinion, it's revolutionary. It's actually simplistic, but it's just revolutionary because I give a damn. I'm not there for the money. I'm there because I don't want you to die.
Right. You're there to see them, to be with them, to hold them.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to come up after this and give me a hug, so be it. If you want to come up and tell me your life story, so freaking be it. I got to hear this crap all the time. Anytime I travel to do this, people do that because nobody else was listening. Nobody else is listening. People are scared to be vulnerable because they're scared of how they're going to be looked at. But as long as you're not vulnerable, you're at risk.
Absolutely.
You are at risk. You have got to be able to say, dude,
I need help.
I need help. Like, I'm suffering. I need help. That right there can say vulnerability is right there in the word. It's an ability. It is a superpower. It saves lives. Quietness, holding it in, manning up, all that crap will kill you.
It's been killing me. Literally, it's been killing me. I'm one of the most self-sufficient people I know, and it's killing me. I have had to learn how to let people support me, let people know me, and it's still incredibly hard. Right. But I'm doing the damn thing. Like I'm talking with you.
That you've seen? What are the benefits that you've seen since you've been able to, and it's a process, to open up and be vulnerable and allow help?
Honestly, it allows me to see how other people view me. When I open up and I'm honest, and they provide like a good mirror, they validate, they support. It shows me how I should have been treated as a child, and right, how I want to treat myself in the future. Right. And so it's an amazing model for me. And on my low days, like it's one of the things that I pull out of my bag, because I'm like, oh, wow, I cried around this person, and they didn't tell me to shut the fuck up. They didn't tell me I was a, incompetent loser. They didn't say all these mean things to me.
You were being dramatic.
So I don't whatever. Right. Yes. Yeah. I'm being too much, that I'm right. Oh God, you're being emotional. Like, and so it gave me an honest model of, wow, okay, that's how I should have been treated as a child. And so now I can go back in my own sessions that I do with myself, and I can rework a lot of that. And then when I am having those hard days, that's where I model like my positive self-talk from in my journal, is when I've been vulnerable with those people and they provided that comfort and that right, validation.
That is awesome. That is awesome stuff. The one thing that's hard for us, because I feel like I have a lot in common with you. One thing that's hard is, we have been taught ourselves that independence is key, and independence is strength. Nobody on this earth can do anything without somebody else. We need other people in order to, like, we are just a connective people. And when we isolate ourselves and we're independent, it's like the balance is off. Something is off. And so, to piggyback off of what you said, when I've been vulnerable with somebody, just opened up and just said, look, I don't care how you view me, this is it. And tell them how I feel, especially if it's another man. And they look at me and they're like, brother, I'm here for you. As a dude, you don't hear men say this, but it warms and melts my heart because just like you said, I didn't get that from my father. I didn't get that growing up. I didn't get this. But when another man says, I understand, I'm here for you, talk more. What else is going on? I'm not here to judge you. And technically, I'm not here to tell you how to fix it. I'm here to listen. When you get
That
that,
is so important.
yeah, when you get that, oh my God, it is one of the most empowering feelings on earth. And I encourage people, like, even if you don't do it for somebody else. Like, before you actually have it done for you, go and be somebody else's listener. Go sit there and listen. I always say to ask people first, like, do you want me to give advice? Do you want me to listen? Do you want me to just shut the fuck up? What do you want me to do? Because don't just expect that they want you to give them advice. Some people don't want that. But say, hey, I'm here. What do you need from me? I just need you to listen. Okay, that's what you get. And sit there and listen. Learn how to do it, and then allow somebody to listen to you. Changes so much. We hold so much in. We're scared of judgment. We're scared of how people will view us. We're scared of how people will sit there and tell us that we're being too dramatic, or you're being, because that's what we've heard as a child. Stop crying. Men don't cry. Stop being a little pussy. All this other stuff. That stuff sticks with you. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, it sticks with you. I don't care how much you think it doesn't. It does. And you'll be a 40-year-old man that can't cry because your 5-year-old self is scared of being a pussy. And now you can't cry, and you got stress and high blood pressure and diabetes and all this other stuff because you just can't simple cry. You just can't cry.
And men don't have a clear model for this. That's one of the things I'm noticing. Because I've been working on, my self-parenting. And one of the biggest things that I find that is missing is that male figure that is validating and encouraging and just listens. If men had a model for that, I honestly think that would change how a lot of men speak to themselves and their children, their little boys, and it could change the next generation.
Yeah.
But how do we build up men so that they feel that it's safe for them to do that? That's my biggest.
Well, and it's really hard if you're a single mom. It's hard if you have a man in the house. It's even harder if you're a single mom. Because it's very important to have a stable mother and father, a very supportive mother or female figure and male figure. I'm not going to even say mother and father. A supportive female figure and male figure in the life of a child. It is a dire need, especially between the ages of born and 8 to 10 years old. Because after that child is either blessed or fucked for life, depending on what happened. And every single thing that you show this child, that child is learning, taking in, and that child will mimic. If it's a male and you have a codependent mother or a mother that's around abuse or whatever, that male can either be, it's always an extreme, it's never balanced. So the male will either become the abuser because he thinks that's the way women need to be treated, or he becomes the one that's too docile to stop anything. You're going to be the aggressor or you're going to be the victim. And that's what you're teaching and showing this child. So to have, and single mothers can do this, it's a tad bit harder. However, you can still do it. And the way you do it is by validating the child. You just sit there and say, look, I'm not perfect, because you got to be vulnerable. Vulnerability starts everything. This is something I've done. Because children look at you like you're perfect. And once you shatter that perfection, they know they don't have to be perfect either. Takes a lot of stress out. So when you as a parent say, look, okay, I smoked the shit out some crack when I was growing up. All right, it is what it is. I did this, I did that. Am I proud of it? No. But we make mistakes. It's okay. So the child's like, oh shit, mama was a crackhead. But she got over it, And so I don't have to be perfect because she wasn't. But a lot of times kids look at their parents. I had a Christian, grew up Christian, and I had somebody tell me that parents are the closest resemblance to Jesus that a child has. They are Jesus in true form. You can read about Jesus. The closest resemblance that you have to Jesus for Christian children is the parent. There are some fucked up Jesuses out there.
Oh God, yeah.
But how many parents have actually admitted their vulnerabilities to their children?
I do every day.
And see, your child will understand that that's something that's important. Your child will respect you for it. And when you release, when you admit your vulnerabilities, it holds you accountable as well. Because you're like, I can't expect them to be perfect. I didn't get good grades in school. So I was like, I'm telling you to get straight A's. I didn't follow the rules, and I was promiscuous and I was a hoe. I did this. I went out there and did that. I'm not expecting you to not do this. You're going to, examine things. You're going to do things. You're going to try things. You're going to fuck up. I'm an adult and I fuck up. So I don't expect it. And so this child is like, oh, so all this pressure's off of me? Yes. I'm not perfect.
It helps their feelings too, because honestly, when I admit, wow, I fucked up. That was really fucked up. I should not have said that. And they just look at me and they're like, oh, okay. Like, check, like somebody shouldn't say that.
Right.
And it's like, it changes their perception of how they're going to talk to themselves and how they're going to allow other people to treat them. Each time I say, that was fucked up. I shouldn't have done that.
Right. So many parents are so scared of, they think that I have to set this example for this child. And then how I question is, the example you feel you have to set, where are you getting the model for that?
Mary Poppins?
There you go. Like, where that's because, even she had problems. So it's like, where are you getting the model for this example that you have to set? Are you setting the example of a human being? Or are you setting the example of a freaking Avenger? Which one are you setting here? Of a hero or somebody who's flawed? What example are you setting? Are you showing them that you should never take time for yourself? Are you showing them that work matters more than anything else, or career matters more? Are you showing them that it is more important to sacrifice your own happiness for that woman or that man? What are you showing them? And I always be vulnerable. Have that talk and say, you know what? Look, I messed up. I'm sorry. I should not have, number one, put this person first because they didn't deserve it. Number two, I shouldn't have not put myself first because I don't deserve it. And I can't be an awesome parent to you if I don't give a fuck about me. Because I'm teaching you not to give a fuck about yourself.
Or if we have such high expectations, like that's what I'm struggling with, is I'm caving under the weight of my own expectations. I've got my bar set so high that I could never reach it. And so day in and day out, I'm beating myself up for not living up to that standard. Right. And we as parents, we have to find a way to let go of that, to release that weight and allow ourselves to be less Avenger, less hero. It's hard.
Yeah, it's and so many people tell me, "Oh, you're not a parent, you don't know." Yeah, but I had parents, so like
you're parenting your own self.
Yeah, and I know what not having this did to me. I know what not having this openness and this vulnerability. I know what it did to me. And I know how it screwed me up later on because, like you said, now you expected that everything has to be perfect. And also, now you have this child who is 20, 30 years old, still trying to impress the parent because they never felt that they could do it. Now, I know so many people out there, whether you want to admit it or not, and I'm one of them, that I was in my 30s trying to impress my father, wishing my father, wanting his approval. And why is that? Because I was never good enough as a child, and they allowed me to feel that way. have to tell your child that I love you for who you are. You don't have to change anything about yourself. And you know what? I'm speaking to grown people who should have heard this as a child. You are perfect as is. I don't want you to be like anybody else. I don't want you to be like that kid over there and have straight A's. I don't want you to be like your sister. I want you to be you. Because that is the most important thing. And you will only have you for the rest of your life. So who you are matters. And I support you in who you are right now. Am I going to agree with everything? No. Did my parents agree with everything with me? No. So I'm going to afford you that same grace and blessing and just let you know I love you to death. And there's no rule book to parenting. There's no rule book to fucking life. You're going to fuck up. But if you're going by this set standard of world rules and how things should be, you're going to fuck up even more. Because there is nothing you can do that will make you good enough in the eyes of the world. So as long as you keep trying to impress the world, you are going to be a piece of shit for the rest of your damn life. As soon as you let go of that and start impressing yourself with your strength and your resiliency and your intelligence and all this other stuff, at that point, are you free of the world? And at that point, can you be who you are? Stop trying to live for folks who don't give a fuck about you, the world. There is nothing you can do that will be good or enough in the eyes of the world. Your body is always going to be too fat, too skinny. You're not going to be smart enough. You'll be too dumb. You're going to be overqualified, underqualified. You're not going to make enough money. There's nothing you can do in the eyes of the world that is going to be good enough. So stop trying to impress the world and start looking in the mirror and it's like, what can I do to be like, oh shit, Kirt, you are the shit. Because the world ain't going to tell you that. They're just going to tell you you're a piece of shit.
Right. Set our own standards.
Set your own standards, make your own fucking path. And
Yes.
there's so many adults who still are living for their parents. They're living for their ex because their ex said that you're a piece of shit. You can't do this. So now you're trying to prove to this motherfucker who done moved on. Or you're trying to prove to your parents who are dead and gone. Or you're trying to prove all these things. There was a time, because I'm the only person in my family, well, yeah, pretty much, who doesn't have a college degree. My dad made me feel like shit about this. Made me feel like shit about this the entirety of my life. And I found myself, I hate school, but here I am in my 30s, like, I need to go back to school to get this degree. Until I stopped, I was like, why would I get this degree and who am I getting it for? Am I getting it for me? And I had this dream of my dad had passed away and I'm at his grave putting my degree on his grave. And I'm like, that's the dumbest shit ever.
Wow.
And it wasn't until I had that. And I was like, why would I do this? You know what? Bump school. I'm not doing it because it's not for me. And I'm going to stand up in my decision. And I'm happy with that decision. And I still made a way for myself without a degree. So
I'm still trying to impress my damn parents, and one's dead and the other one I buried in my head.
But we're always because they did such a number on us, Liberty.
They did.
But they didn't know what to do.
No.
This is generational. It's systemic. It keeps passing down. Their parents, they weren't good enough to their parents. So to us, we weren't good enough to them. We have to stop that cycle.
Right. And I was raised by a single father that had no guide, had no model, had no way of handling two young children. Like, right. So I understand, like, and that's like part of my own codependency is right. Like, oh, well, I understand why they didn't. But I also have to take that a step further and say, it's not, what they did is still not okay. And it wasn't my fault.
Right. You can understand it, understand the mind frame of it, but it's still not okay. Right. And that's very important that you said that. To understand something doesn't mean that you condone it.
Right.
Because a lot of people just make it okay. And as soon as you make something wrong okay, it devalues who you are. Because there's some shit that our parents did that was fucking wrong. Point blank, period.
Absolutely fucked up.
And it is what, and it fucked us up.
Yep.
Point blank, period. And some of us have taken that same fucked upness, and the majority of the time, we take it to the next extreme. So if our parents were too controlling, we're going to be very lenient with our children because we don't want them to be treated the way that we treated. So we, in turn, are parenting out of fear and parenting off of what happened to us and what we don't want to happen to them. No, parent the way that you want to parent, not based off of the way your parents parented you.
Right. And going back to what you said, the world's standards, we're never going to live up to them. Like
Yeah,
that's what I'm finding with my own parenting is like that standard that
it's
I'm never going to live up to that perfect mom. And so, like you said, I have to find what is a good enough mom for me.
right. And you know what? It's okay. So I will empower the shit out of Liberty right now.
Oh, yes,
You are
please.
a perfect mom as is because you are you. The wonderful thing about you being the mother that you are is you make a choice every single day whether to be your parents, whether to be a shitty mom, whether you could abandon your kids. But the fact that you wake up every morning, make sure that you're making way for that child. How often do you sit there and say, you know what, Liberty, good job? Or do you feel, no, it's what I'm supposed to do? No, you make a choice. How often do you wake up and say, you know what? I'm a pretty damn good parent. I'm not perfect, but I'm a damn good parent. These, like, I see awful parents every day. How often do you pat yourself on the back for the, you bust your ass all the time. How often
It's
do you pat
rare for
yourself on the
me.
back?
It's rare. I'm learning to do it more, but it's rare.
And but you deserve it more than anybody else because when your kids see you patting yourself on the back and you teach them how to pat themselves on the back, they will learn not to be codependent on other motherfuckers.
Yeah.
When you sit down, it's like, you know what we're going to do is for the next 5 minutes, we're going to sit in the circle and we're going to say things that we love about ourselves.
Ooh, I like
Let's
that.
just sit in this circle for 5 minutes. I'm not taking all your day. And I just want to sit here in the circle and we're going to say shit that we love about ourselves. Oh, well, I love my hair. Okay, good. I love the fact that, I don't know, shit, I can play this video game great. Wonderful. And then for the mom, Liberty, what would you say? What do you love about yourself, Liberty?
That I'm motivated, that I am determined, that I'm understanding and compassionate.
Bam. Now, do you honestly love yourself or love those things about yourself? You just saying
I appreciate them. I'm not like
you're getting there.
it's very hard. Like I'm still working on that, allowing myself to love myself. Like there's like the damage that I had done was so
Right.
severe and so early and like utterly catastrophic that like
Right.
I still, even after all this healing journey, like there's still a block that says
Right.
like
Right.
maybe we shouldn't love ourselves. Maybe not yet. Maybe we're not there yet. I'm willing. That's what I came up with today is I'm willing to try for my children, for myself. I'm willing to try.
Okay. Well, you want to, okay, I'm about to do we're about to do something together. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Fucked up now. All right.
What?
So, you done messed up now. Okay.
Oh,
So,
yay.
I just want you, I forgot that you kind of like that shit. So, all right. I just want you to, okay. I am your inner child.
Okay.
And I've been neglected. And you have the opportunity right now to have a one-on-one conversation with your inner child. What are you going to say? I've been beat up not only by the world and life, but you've done a number on me as well. And I am stuck under all of this negativity, and it really doesn't take much for you to remove it. I just need to know that you love me and that you care about me and that you won't forget me again. So you have your opportunity right now to talk to your bald-headed black inner child.
The cutest inner child ever.
Don't even look like you, but I'm your inner child. Okay.
It wasn't your fault. How other people treated you is not the standard for how you should treat yourself. You don't deserve this. You're not a bad person and you never were. They were fucked up. They didn't know any better. You do know better, so you're trying, and I appreciate it. I see you're trying.
Now, what about the stuff that you've done to me?
Ooh, fuck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I try to kill you every day. It's painful to see how neglected you were and how much work I have to do. That I want to kill you. I want to push you down. I want to shut you up. You're loud, as you should be. You're trying to get my attention because you need stuff from me, and I haven't been there, and I'm sorry. That was wrong of me. You're just a little baby. You're stuck in a crib or you're chained to the bed. Like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You're free now. You're fucking free now. Go, be free, be healthy. Stop fucking smoking, goddammit. Okay.
What is going to be different with the way that you treat your inner child from now on? And this is how you treat yourself. I just want one thing that you're going to do. And I, Kirt Davis, am going to hold you to this. What's the one thing that you're going to do differently? A small thing that you can start with to do differently to love yourself more.
I am not going to shut myself up. If I hear the voice, I will listen. I will tune in. I will not rush to grab the phone or rush to go do something or rush to grab a cigarette. I will tune in.
See, everything you just did right there is loving yourself. And I just wanted to be
That was loving myself.
That was loving yourself, because until you can actually forgive yourself and say you're sorry to yourself, you're not loving yourself. You're just pushing them to the side. You don't matter to you. But to actually love yourself means that you focus on yourself to say, damn it, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know any better. I was doing what I had to do to survive. And by doing that, I neglected you. And that's okay. Yourself is still there. Yourself is still saying, hey, Liberty, still here. Love you. I'm here. And you just, out of all these years, I'm pretty sure you've done so much work and you've already done some of this, but out of all these years, for some people, yourself hasn't heard from you. So it's like calling a long lost relative saying, hey, sorry, I haven't talked to you in 38 years, but I'm back. And I want to hit on one thing. I'm not trying to keep you forever, but one thing I want to hit on is one thing I hate hearing from everybody is it takes so long for change, and change doesn't happen overnight. And this goes out to all those people who are religious. If you can give your life and your soul to somebody that you have never met before, ever, based off of what you heard in the book or read in the book and what other people have heard, you have never met this man, never shook his hand, you never went out on a date with him, but you give your life and your soul to this person, you're saying right then and there that your belief trumps everything. If you believe that a change can happen overnight, damn it, it can.
Mm.
If you believe it, that's how strong you are. If you believe today is the first day of the rest of my new life, that's it. Will you stumble? Fuck yes. But it doesn't mean that you went backwards. So stop telling yourself that things are going to be harder that you have never gone through. If you've never been through it, stop sitting there saying it's going to be fucking hard. Change is going to be hard. Oh, this is going to take, because all you're doing is giving yourself an out. I did my best. I hate hearing shit like this. No,
it's just new. It's not hard. It's just new.
That's it. Change your perspective And if you keep saying it's going to be hard, damn it, it's going to be hard. If you say, you know what, it's going to be different, it'll be different. If you're saying this is going to be the best thing ever, it will be the best thing ever. But if you keep saying things are going to be negative, that's exactly what the hell you're going to get. Stop doing that to yourself. You are killing your own manifestation because you are speaking negativity and hardship into your own life. The shit don't have to be hard. Yes, it's a little different. Yes, it's a little difficult at times. But you know what? You can sit there and learn that crap, and next you know, in a day or two, you've changed everything. Why? Because you believed you could. If you can believe that you're a piece of shit, if you can believe that you're ugly, fat, unwanted, and all these other things, if you can believe that shit, you can believe the opposite.
Oh, fuck. Ouch.
You can believe the opposite. So start believing the opposite and stop telling yourself that other shit. You keep telling yourself that, that's what you are.
Yep.
Because it's your fucking truth. You start telling yourself, you know what, I'm worth more, that's what you are. Why? It's your fucking truth. But just like you tell yourself every single day or every time, I keep fucking up. Yep, you're exactly fucking right. That's exactly your truth because that's your reality. But start saying, you know what, I'm allowed to make mistakes. Oh shit. Your body's like, whoa, who the fuck is this? Stop making your journey harder than what it has to be. Life is already hard. Do not help it.
Yep.
Speak life into your situation. It takes 2 weeks to start a different habit. All you have to do is think about everything that you're saying to yourself now and do the fucking opposite. I love you, Kirt. Kirt, you are the shit. Just walk around saying this. I don't care if you believe it or not. Just start saying it differently. Kirt, you're worthy. Kirt, you are this. You are that. Start saying that. And then watch how you start to believe it. But you keep believing you're a piece of shit because you keep saying that.
And in those moments when you do go back to beating yourself up because we're triggered, we're human, we're gonna get triggered, like to bring it back, come back, validate, like you said, you know, we grow. Like I love that meme that you sent. We grow slow, but we grow.
Bro, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
So when we do get in those times, like to go through the motions, even if we don't feel motivated to do it, if we're so triggered where we have no motivation, go through the motions anyway. That's what I'm doing for myself recently is I'm going through the motions anyway. No matter what, if I'm not feeling it, I'm going through the motions anyway.
Fake it till you make it.
Yep.
Because what we're doing now is you're just reinforcing years of negativity, and you don't need help doing that. The world will do that for you. Let me repeat that. The world will beat you the fuck down. And you're like, nah, I'll do it. No, fuck you, world. I got this. I'm a piece of shit. And the world's like, oh, okay, we'll take it. No, there's no point. Look, we're all struggling to navigate things. Parents are struggling to navigate how to be a parent. Kids are struggling how to navigate going to school and being accepted and accepting their sexuality and all this. We're all struggling to do these different things. The sooner you simply say 2 words, you will make so many things better. And those 2 words are, it's okay. It's okay. Instead of saying you're wrong or you should be this, just say it's okay. Because regardless of whether it's okay, wrong, or right, it happened. And you can't do shit to change it. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not have this skinny, perfect body. It's okay to not understand. It's okay to not relate to this person over here. It's okay to not want to be in that relationship anymore. It's okay to not want to be beat. It's okay to not want to work here. It's okay to not want to go to college. It's okay to not want to do these things. It's so fucking okay because there is no fucking rule book. You are you. It's okay to be who the fuck you are.
All of it is valid.
It's all valid. And if anybody or anything makes it feel like it's not, rid yourself of that.
Self-included.
Self-included. You have to, you know what? Sometimes you got to kill that part of yourself. Make the negative part if you commit suicide and bring that positive side out. You
bring
feel
it
me?
back to life.
Bring it
That's
back
why
to
I call it zombies. Like bring it, you kill it, but you bring it back to
life.
life.
Bring it back. Be that phoenix. Rise from that stuff because it has killed you. Again, and you probably seen this meme on my thing, and I live by this. Two type of people in this world, and yourself plays a role in this. Fountains and drains. The drains take from you. No matter how much is in there, they take, and you end up empty. Fountains put into you. So you're either putting into yourself or taking away from. Or you're allowing people to put into you or take away from. You need to sit back and see who the fuck is a drain. Because if somebody is not supporting you, because sometimes you need that pat on the back. If they're not supporting you, why the fuck are they around you?
Right. Because you feel guilty. Because you feel guilty saying,
loyalty.
hey, you're not supporting me.
Stand up for your own feelings, your own validation. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for that inner child that you've been abusing for day in and day out. Stand up for these people who have been neglected, and those people are all in you. Let go of these trust issues. Let go of all the shit that has happened because you can't change the past. Realize it happened and it made you a certain type of person. And the other part of this is take all of this negative shit that you've been through and positively help somebody else going through it. Stop being so selfish to the point that you are just looking at yourself. Somebody needs to hear your vulnerability saying, I was molested. Somebody's getting molested right now that can hear from you. Or just stay quiet and don't help anybody and, wallow around in self-pity. Whichever one works for you. I don't give a shit. So
no, use your pain. Absolutely. Use that pain. Like make it worth something. Make it mean something.
That's why I started the Betterment Experience. That's why I started the Scream Experience. That's why I started speaking, because I was like, I can help people with my story. I have helped people with my story. And I love the fact that I can go to all these different places and bases and countries and speak to people. And you realize that you are so connected to everybody. And I don't care what color you are, what political affiliation, whatever. We're all going through the same shit. I can go to Australia tomorrow, tell my story, tell the Scream Experience, do the whole Scream Experience. And people come up and talk to me, and I'm like, I am no different than you. I understand.
We are all the same.
We are all the same. We are connected.
We all have the same feelings, the same misgivings.
We're human. But we are connected more about what you think are your weaknesses than by the bullshit you think is your strength. You are connected more about weaknesses. We've all been through breakups. That's a weakness. We've all been vulnerable. That's a weakness. We've all trusted the wrong person. Weakness. We've all had financial issues. Weakness. We've all done these things. Those are weaknesses, but we're connected. Now, how many people like public speaking? That's a strength. 2 people. We're not connected. We're connected by the things that we feel we suck at and we don't see them as a strength. Start seeing those as a strength and connect with other people who have the same strength. Stop looking at ADHD and depression. Stop looking at these things as something that's bad and start looking at them as something that is a superpower. Seriously. Albert Einstein.
And a way to connect to others, like you said.
Bam. We're told ADHD is bad, borderline personality. Why is it that those can't be a superpower? It's because we've been told that they're bad. But I don't see my PTSD as a power because I can connect to more people.
It's right. I can empathize with the pain.
Exactly.
I can empathize when they're triggered. I can see when they're triggered.
It's funny, and veterans know this, especially veterans who combat veterans or people who have been through. You can look at another veteran and look how they look. And I've been able to do it so many times. I was looking like, you've been through some shit. And it's just because I know that look. Now, had I never been through this shit and I was perfect, I wouldn't be able to connect with you.
Right.
That's why your motivational speakers don't need to be millionaires, not as other people that have been pretty much lived a life without problems. You need to connect with somebody who understands what you've been through. And that's why you have people like Liberty, who people don't do what you do, Liberty. So I'm going to keep empowering you because I want you to know what you do, even doing these podcasts, doing this video, doing whatever. It doesn't go unnoticed. You have changed lives, especially after the last one. I can tell how many people hit me up, and I was like, the credit does not go to me. It goes to Liberty. Because I would have never done this had Liberty not just reached out and said, hey, I'd like to do this with you. And I was like, I don't know who this white girl is. And then we started doing it. So The fact that you take the time out of your day to do this is a superpower, Liberty. And if you
Thank
don't
you.
walk away from this, once this, and this is what I want you to do, once we end this call, I want you to just take a minute and say, I did that. Like, that was awesome and something I did. Because if you don't commend yourself or reward yourself, then it was pointless. You have saved lives, whether you know it or not. You have saved lives. And you're helping nurture lives, even in your own house and yourself. You're doing so much, Liberty. And you need to look in that mirror and be so proud of yourself. The biggest smile I saw was a post where somebody got baptized.
Yes.
And I saw this honest smile. And I need you to look at yourself the same.
Yes.
I want you to go back to that picture and it's like, why can't I look at my inner child the same way? So
How proud I was just holding her.
exactly. So maybe it's time for you to baptize your inner child.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, you have no idea how much I needed this conversation today. Like, this is just the universe, like, beating me over the head, like, literally with, I'm going to be replaying this and replaying this. Like, you're my daddy now. Okay.
Oh, well, I don't know how
You are now my daddy.
I don't know, because I'm kind of black, so I don't know how that happened. I was in the Navy, so it's a possibility. I don't know. But, I am your friend, and I will always be your friend. And I want you to know that no matter whatever happens, don't ever feel like you can't reach out and say, Kirt, I'm having a hard day. Like, can you just talk shit to me? That's why I'm here.
And that goes both ways.
And I'll use it. But
absolutely, I'm here.
I know that you are a busy bee, and you have got to take time for Liberty. Your name alone, you need to live up to your name.
Yes.
You need to liberate yourself from a lot of this shit. And let's take it to the BDSM thing real quick. I got you. You're submitting to some negative doms right now.
Ooh.
You are submitting to these doms who don't give a fuck about you. They abuse you. They treat you awfully. You submit to them day in and day out. You submit to feelings of self-worthlessness. You submit to these feelings, and these doms have been commanding you for years. And you have chosen to stay with those. I'm telling you, you need to come out of that and start submitting to positive doms. And people who will sit there and put back into you. Stop going to the drains and liberate Liberty. Shit.
Be my own positive dom. Like, be the affectionate dom that I know I am.
So you've had a sub before, correct?
Oh, yes.
How'd you treat them?
How they wanted to be treated.
Oh shit, I'm scared. No, you shouldn't answer that. Okay. So, well, let me take the back. So you know how to be dominant. Really?
Sexually, yes, absolutely. Emotionally.
But no, because you have to control their emotions as well. A good dominant controls the emotions of their sub.
Okay, so I can control emotions. Yes.
So you have all the tools necessary.
Okay, so I do have the tools necessary.
Okay, so what I need you to do is to first write a contract, a dom sub contract with yourself, and discuss what you need to do to make sure that things will change. Number two, you need to write out rewards and punishments for yourself. Same thing. And you need to write out your hard limits, meaning boundaries that you will not cross over. Like, I will not speak badly about myself, or I will not talk down to myself. That is a hard limit.
I will not shut myself up.
I will not shut myself up. And then you need to hold yourself accountable to these things. Make sure you reward yourself as a good dom would, and make sure you punish yourself as a good dom would. You need to go restrain yourself and then put some nipple clamps on, and beat yourself every time that you do this thing. You got to make sure put a ball gag in there and make sure that stuff stops. But you have every fucking tool, Liberty. Every tool. Every tool. And there is nothing about you that is worthful. There's nothing about you that is something other than extraordinary. You are Liberty. There is nothing about you. You're a mother. You're all these things. I'm sorry. There is nothing about you that is below awesomeness. If you won't settle for that in a relationship, damn it, don't settle for it in your life. Don't settle for it for yourself. If you won't let a man treat you like the way that you treat yourself,
oh hell no.
okay, there you go. So stop treating yourself like, Ike and Tina Turner. You know what I'm saying? And let's make sure that you start to love the hell out of yourself. I mean, I want you to make love to your emotions.
Oh, I like that.
I want you to do that, and just make sure that you just take time to do this. And this goes out to everybody else, whoever's listening to this. Take the time. I don't care. Put it on your schedule. You say you like to plan, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very much a planner.
You're going to plan for this from now on, and I'm going to check in with you. We need to make sure we do a podcast again soon so I can check in and see what the hell you were doing. But I want you to make sure that you plan for yourself, to love yourself. Do you like to get your nails done? Tell me something that you like to do outside of the house.
Sing.
You
okay,
like to
well, sing. I sing in the house.
No, something like an activity that you like to do. Like, do you like to go and rob banks, or do you like to I don't know, paint something, or
I like to sing karaoke. I like to go walk in the forest. I don't like to spend money, so nails, like, unless I had a sugar daddy, like, but I'm not willing to do that right now. I was literally like,
Facebook, I'm pretty sure you can get one.
What?
Just post that on Facebook. I'm pretty sure you have some people apply. I need something that's a pretty big, significant.
I like to go to concerts. I like to have experiences.
Okay.
I like to take myself out on dates, I do take myself to like lunches, and when I actually date myself, so I will take myself out for like a pizza, and I will do intimacy building exercises and all kinds of different stuff.
How often do you date yourself?
Pre-pandemic, I was doing it every 2 weeks. Pandemic, I've done it once.
Hold on, time out. So pre-pandemic, let me understand this. So pre-pandemic, you were dating yourself once every 2 weeks because that will keep a relationship going.
Yes.
Do you think that you would get away with dating me once every 2 weeks?
No.
So don't you think you deserve more? Liberty, I will call you on your shit.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right.
So, do you know that you don't want to do that as a date? Like, you have a TV in your house, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have Hulu?
I don't watch TV. I'm weird like that.
Okay. Do you have any type of cable, something?
I have YouTube.
Okay, bet.
And Netflix.
All right, so,
I do have Netflix.
Okay, so you can Netflix. So what I want you to do is your next date is to get a bowl of popcorn and watch a documentary on Netflix. Why can't you Netflix and chill with yourself?
Ooh.
That's
okay.
A date.
So instead of it being every 2 weeks or every 2 years,
you can do this
I need to treat it like an actual relationship.
Exactly, because if you only have time for yourself once every 2 weeks, whatever, who the hell are you going to have time for in a relationship?
Right.
So I need you to be at least in the evening, kids go to sleep. I want you to, and you say it, I'm about to go and take myself to go cuddle on the couch and watch TV or watch a movie. That's dating yourself. I need you to be intimate with yourself. Get some popcorn. Tell yourself sweet nothings in your ear. Oh, Liberty, I love your hair. Wherefore art thou, Liberty? Stuff like that. And tell yourself these things and date yourself right there on the couch. Okay? That's what
you like. It doesn't have to be out in public. Yes.
There's no rules.
I set set my own fucking rules. Damn
There
it.
you go. And you can go outside and just sit on the porch, and that's a date. What are the things that you would want a man to do with you? Like,
Like
or a woman?
sit and
Like,
watch
what would
the stars and
yeah,
talk about spiritual things
then
and
go do it.
life. And
Go do it with you.
yes.
Because once you do it with you, you can better instruct them. But now you're going to settle for every date needs to be outside the house and doing something. No, your dates can be right there, simple and cheap, and watching Netflix.
Yep.
Damn liberty. One day
Just
I'm gonna
don't restrain yourself, please, other people. Like that's not safe to do alone.
I mean, just restrain one side so the other side can get you loose.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
There you go. So, date half of
See?
yourself.
Okay. So yeah, there we go.
And take pictures, people, because I want to see them. Just email me. I want to see you date yourself. I want to see these pictures. Well, Liberty, we have talked for 10,000 hours.
Yes. Thank you a million
I
times.
love it.
Thank you.
I love it. And yes, I look forward to this so I can post it. Make sure you post it and let me know. And I'm always here whenever you want to do it again.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful.
I will be listening. Like, thank you. This was amazing.
Anytime, Liberty, you're a great friend. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You are too.
I look forward to speaking with you again. One day we're going to actually link up and we're going to go out and we're going to fuck the town up. I can't wait.
Yes, we will do that.
We're going to tear it up. I'm going to jail that night. All right. Well, you have a wonderful day. Continue to feel better.
Take care.
I am here if you need me.
All righty. You too. Have
All
a good
right,
one.
All right. You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.